I pack my suitcase, headed out the door, I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home, a couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
Miles past, turning back, found my track, face the fact, she a cold one. Never gonna settle for none, stay up every night till I won. Don't want a slow rise now, I'm confident opulence isn't a long ride out. When I look back now, I'm astounded. A quiet boy from old age, but always felt the world was a stage, yeah. I celebrate one last late night, my whole life ain't staying.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door, I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home, a couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
I'm headed to LA.
Couple thousand miles, throw it on the dash. Shit, 10,000 hours, can't let them pass. Yeah, well, I was putting time in, you was pulled up wildin'. You always had shit to say, now when I see you, it's silence. Thought I'd have a Grammy by 25. Commas after commas next to dollar sign, yeah. To remind myself why I'm living this life. Look at all the late nights, it'll all come in due time, yeah.
Made for the fight, for the pain and the climb, tied to the life I chose. Stay through the night, another day, not a dime. Race against time. I couldn't just lay by and wonder what I could have made mine. I'm closing on the moment, no one's gonna hold me down from getting
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door, I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home, a couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
contemplate. Climb out the sheets, find the jeans from a previous day. Grab the keys from off the counter, commute into the city, gonna take another hour. Man, I hate trading time for a way. At least I got a home and a job that pays. Faded from color, reaching to find when I wonder how. Saying it'll all be fine, while you sit around and waste your time. Faded from color, stuck in the backseat and told to drive.
You look like a child. Well, thank you very much, Arthur. I've been very lucky down here. Feeling better than I did up north.
Collars itching, face switching, another cup of joe and I'm fine. Come 5, I can burn a fresh dime. Lifting up the burdens, putting weight on my mind. Bet if I didn't chase that and embrace distractions, master my lack of faith and break through. Faded from color, reaching to find when I wonder how. Saying it'll all be fine, while you sit around and waste your time. Faded from color, stuck in the backseat and told to drive. I'm holding out, but as I fight, I feel my colors wash away. I'm finding my ground in the light of the hours I can claim. 'Cause in time I restore my complexion and find that I left my distractions behind. In the meantime, I'll blindfold my pride and keep hold of my time like it's gold. Faded from color, reaching to find when I wonder how. Saying it'll all be fine, while you sit around and waste your time. Faded from color, stuck in the backseat and told to drive.
Hello gamers, we're back for more ESL Challenger League action, back in the Asia Pacific region as well, and a bit more of a, I guess, a weirder matchup today with some of the more unknown faces in this particular league, and always nice to see these guys, to see if there's any stars for the future that we should be keeping an eye on. Our name is Travis, otherwise known as Trav, alongside Freddie, otherwise known as Grimmy Renard. How are you, mate?
I'm doing very well. I wouldn't have guessed that your name was Travis.
I know, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed, but I'm doing very well. And Trav, this is actually you're popping my cherry for Asia Pacific. I've never done this before. This is my first time on an ESL Challenger Asia Pacific. I'm very excited because I wouldn't be massively familiar with these teams either. So as you kind of mentioned, looking for stars of the future. I'm really excited to see if anyone pops out to me today, because I think we do have some of those maybe lesser known teams that could be quite exciting.
Yeah, we can have a look at as you see, the league standings in the current state, of course, in this back-to-back best-of-one format. Tyler, who played quite a lot of games so far in their season, and they are looking pretty solid. As you'd expect from them, probably the two teams you'd expect to be the top two in the league are currently the top two in the league. Maybe the other one would be Rare Atom, but they obviously had a few stand-ins in the first couple of games they played, so I'll forgive them for having a 4-4 record for now. They should work their way back up as the season goes on, but we're focusing on -72C, and of course the QUBE today. Unfortunately, the QUBE are a bit more of an underdog today. 72C, while their names might be a bit more unknown, they're one of these Eastern Russian teams that have a few particularly talented players on their roster.
Do you think this sounds? I can't believe I haven't figured this out yet. But I'm assuming -72C is a reference to somewhat of the temperature.
Maybe.
That could be it.
Maybe.
Because like Eastern Russia, I think it's pretty cold there. But yeah, they're doing quite well this season. They're actually one of those more underdog teams that I guess if you're not from the region, you wouldn't be massively familiar with their name. But look, they made playoffs in the last season of Asia Pacific ESL Challenger. They also made the close qualifier for the Perfect World Major Eastern Asia qualifier, and unfortunately they actually got disqualified because, from what I can gather, East Russian players need to send passport photos to admins to verify that they are not EU Russians trying to play in Asia, but the sub didn't verify in time, so they got DQ'd. But apart from that,
unlucky, actually.
Yeah, really unlucky. It's actually just really unlucky. But apart from that, they are a team that is looking really good this season, with already some very decent wins against the teams like Huns, like the Rare Atom. Like, those are some very serious results to be getting quite early on the season. And I think for them, it's not just playoffs we're expecting for them. It's maybe an upper bracket star and just doing a little bit better than last season, where they placed dead last in playoffs, for instance.
Yeah, and just looking at the maps, of course, we do have our first VO1 is going to be on Mirage, just to confirm. That is the map we're flying through right now, obviously. But yeah, I think the result that probably gives you the most hope for this team, and I guess the most sort of picture where they're currently at as a roster, is that Rare Atom game. Sure, they got absolutely demolished in the first map, 13-2, but in that second BO1, they did win it 13-9. Again, caveat for Rare Atom, they were playing with their coach, Z8Z, who, if I'm not mistaken, haven't played for a very, very long time. Other than that one LAN toward the end of last year. He's 35 years old now, is Z8Z, and he's coach standing in, which is probably not ideal for that roster as they try and figure out exactly who they're going to play with next season. I think there were some reports around the scene exactly what that will be, but obviously can't be done just yet due to roster lock and all that sort of stuff. So, and to keep their slot, full stop. In Challenger League. But of course, our player to watch, our Kadir player to watch, is Barosto, and he is probably the guy, if you look through the recent results for this team, that puts in most of the big numbers and has had some genuinely decent performances, especially in some of those qualifiers last year.
Yeah, he really has got some pretty nuts numbers, and there's always like the one player on each team that jumps out. And I think what was difficult with 72C is they've actually kind of got two of them. They've got Foretsky and Barosto, who both look some like really talented players who, outside of Challenger as well, are also putting up some big numbers. And the other hand, on QUBE, you've got Kamui. So I feel like those are the names you want to be looking out for today as we head into our first best of one. It's gonna be Mirage, and already, oh my god, it's a fantastic start. It couldn't get any better.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say that's already an example of the skill gap, perhaps, between these two teams, but that's some way to get us going. Paranormal trying to recover the situation, and Human is down, but the most important thing is that the bomb is lost, and they can't get anywhere near it right now.
I'd be very surprised if this round has any legs to it. Now both players for the QUBE are spotted. Long range with the Glock. Never ideal.
Uh-oh.
Paranormal does collect one more kill towards shore, and this actually makes it slightly more uncomfy for 72C. You can see that their attention's split, but for the QUBE, it's still like, you know, we need to hit some more shots here. There's really no other way around it. You've got 40 seconds left. Time's ticking down a little bit. There is a flashbang on Solo. He's not even going to be able to use it as he gets run down. And for Paranormal, it's going to have to be a 1 versus 3 ace, where both our two players we highlighted for 72C start off with all 5 kills combined.
Yeah, that is a great way to start off. Sometimes stats don't lie, which is sometimes makes us look smart, sometimes makes us look silly. This time, maybe 0.5% smarter. Who knows? But yeah,
for me, that's pretty good.
Go to the next round with the MP9s and the 2 A1Ss. It will be a 4-spy from QUBE. Interestingly, we've got that one hero AK available because, of course, Paranormal did get those kills, so he can actually drop one. Just make use of a deagle of his own and give Kamui something to fight with.
It's always interesting going for a 4-spy after the bomb has been planted. You're kind of relying on Kamui. He's the guy we were mentioning had kind of ridiculous stats for the QUBE. He's going to have to pull out something out of the hat here, and ooh, so almost does everything in middle there, but as soon as he falls, you've now got Paranormal with no armor, and a 3 versus 3 where actually the QUBE look like in a much better position. They ironically have the gun advantage because they've picked up both of the primary rifles that 72C were wielding, and they're gonna have the A bomb site for free. The issue is, as soon as this jungle smoke fades, Trav, all hell will be let loose on the QUBE.
Yeah, I mean, 72C are here, but, like, you're actually right. They have a weapon advantage now, which is a bit strange, but they attempted in the open. It's a bit whiffy to get that kill with the MP9, but unfortunately they lost a second player in the meantime. So it's all down to Solo. Put the bomb down to try and play around it, of course, but he will get run down. MP9 gets the kill, M4's recovered, and all is good. But Plant is handy for the future.
Do we purchase into the next round? Seeing how they bought into a non-bomb plant second round, it almost makes me think that they get 3 kills, they get the bomb down. It almost makes me think that they actually will just purchase up into this. Like, I wouldn't hate it. And yeah, look at that. They're already on the Galils. But, Trav, talking about the maps, because we didn't really get a massive opportunity to. From my perspective, this veto massively favors 72C. We haven't seen Mirage being played by the QUBE yet in ECL. For 72C, they have played Mirage once, they've won, and then going on to Ancient second map. That's actually the map they won against Rare Atom. And then alongside that in other tournaments, the QUBE, they've lost on Mirage and Ancient multiple times decisively. So these vetoes to me favor 72C. It's just, let's see what happens on the server, I guess.
Yeah, it should absolutely favour them. Of course, the problem here for QUBE is that, sure, they can get their buyout with the Galils across the board, and actually they had okay utility with that buy, but they've already pretty much used it all to try and get mid-control. 2 smokes and a flash left, and kills keep rolling in for 72C. Nice taps from Barrosto, that's why we like the look of him coming into this series, but they are recovering the round again, and the rotations are actually covered by Cursed here. He's going to hear them both going in through CT. And sure, while Solo is 2 HP, they have the info.
It all comes down to how long can Solo survive or get a kill, and, well, he dies straight away. So now, Curse, he's just left by himself. And yeah, unfortunately, the QUBE, even though I would actually consider, and as you mentioned, them probably to be an advantage in that situation. They take very solo fights, and they don't really play off each other. Maybe Curse should have taken contact, and then Solo could swing from triple, but instead, it's just the isolation from the CT side. It's a round, but it's another close one, Trav.
Do you think they'll buy again? There we go.
I actually think they might.
I mean,
'Cause
listen,
it's better purchase as well because they get more loss bonus.
That is absolutely right. I mean, it's not even that crazy. I've seen crazier things in ECL Asia Pacific, that's for
Oh,
sure.
I can
As you
imagine.
say, you are... this is your debut in this region, but you've done pretty much every single other region, haven't you?
I've
So,
done Asia before. I did Chinese qualifiers for the Rio Major in 2022.
that's a classic.
So that's all I've done. Apart from that, I've never really touched Asia, man.
It's a fun region, I've got to say. There are some mad things that happen. To be fair, actually, South America last season had a few ridiculous moments too that I'll remember from last year without a doubt. This is a lovely little creep from Barasto. Oh
Another
my
one.
goodness, Kirsten did not see that coming. In fact, neither of them saw that coming at all. Oh, it was a beautiful little lurk around the smoke, and it recovers the man advantage with Kamui low HP.
I mean, Borosto had a bit of a blip last round of just, for some reason, forgetting there was a player in connector, even though 72C had confirmation that there should be 2 players because they caught someone on the boost. But I guess he's made up for that now, as around that, actually a disadvantage. They got the opening kill. Kirst took down Foretsky, but Borosto looks like he's stemming the bleeding. We could actually get a bomb down. I actually think we will get the bomb down. For 72 for the QUBE here, but the issue is Solo's going to get caught off in... Wait, is he going to get caught off in middle?
Ooh.
Okay, that got scary, but issue is the bomb's taken a long time to get out of ramp here, Trav. If he had just gone straight out, little do they know, they had the bomb site completely free for the taking, but because they take so long, the rotations come through, Bayek pushes through the connector smoke, so they just get trampled on.
Yeah, it's not just the fact they took a long time, it's also the fact that they ran out of utility at the very end as well, right? They can just play ahead of those few pieces they had left and just take control of the situation. Pretty comfortable in the end for 72C. Exactly how we expected this game would start, but there's a long way to go. QUBE have had really not that bad an opening to this series. They've had many opportunities, as we've said, many bomb plants, had a buy pretty much every round. This is going to be the first one where they're going to take a little bit of a back step, and even now, with what they have, it's going to be vaguely dangerous, you'd think.
These rounds are always dangerous to me, especially on Mirage. Tech-9s just running out of palace, apartments. Look, they can overrun. No AWP is actually a positive here for 72C. Having an AWP in these type of rounds can always get a little bit finicky, bit awkward. And yeah, I like this type of play from the QUBE. Look, they didn't get the bomb down. They may as well just take a backseat, and they're going to pop onto A. There's no one directly defend the bomb site, so you could imagine that the bomb is going to be able to get planted here. However, there's a nade for these smokes. Will the bomb actually get planted? Wow, what a shot from Foretsky. Yeah, that's really perfect utility usage. That's perfect individualism. But he does overstep the mark slightly. And look at Kamui. He's in the back line from Connector. Gets the first kill. Paranormal does get tagged a lot. And unfortunately, Kamui unable to get more than that first. And you've got Foretsky, who starts off the round fantastically and ends off the round even better.
Look at that. 8 and 3 for the 2 main men of -72C. Very solid stuff from them thus far. And again, like, I don't even dislike some of the ideas that the QUBE are putting forward in this game, right? I feel like they actually have some okay protocols. It's just, some of these force buys toward the end of the round, mid-round, and end round, it's just lacking in util. It's cut off a couple of times. I think Foretsky was absolutely trying the short jump there,
that was awkward.
But messed it up well, he messed it up before he even started it, pretty much. But yeah, now we've got the AWP out on Kirst. He's out in mid, seeing if anyone pushes towards short. Nothing doing there for probably quite a while, but it's a proper full buy for the QUBE. Let's see what they've got.
Well, unfortunately for them, as they're taking middle, our star man is already in T-spawn. He is going to be cleared though. Paranormal's making noise. This should be an easy kill. It's a little bit lumbered. And to be fair to Paranormal, he does expect Barozzo to be in T-spawn, or someone at least. Issue is now, you've got a man's advantage. You have no control. And what Barozzo's done really nicely here is, look, he's on 19 HP. If he sticks around here, there's a high chance he just gets traded, and all of that early information space is completely given away. But what he does, he just falls completely back. They play the bomb sites with the man advantage, and QUBE now are constantly cautious of someone being in the back lines, and it means they're probably just going to have to pop onto this B bomb site.
Yeah, they're going to give it a go. Human's in a decent spot to probably get one, and that's actually a really nice bit of util. That forces him out a little bit faster, and it means that Solo gets caught by Spira. There'll be a couple more kills through, and that's a lovely shot to clear the bench play, and Human doesn't get anything done at all. What a wallbang. And suddenly it's down into a 2 versus 2. Cursed holding the tight line through the shelving in the market position. The most powerful angle he can possibly wish to have, and he will get that kill, but now it's down just to 4s. What can he do? Can he find that one remaining player on 23 HP? Taking the hard clear van. Oh, he does a double take, but he still gets the kill. It's another whiff, I'm afraid, for the QUBE when a round was there for the taking.
Anselmo is so unfortunate he has 1 HP. I think if it was 50 HP, Foretsky dies there. But just because the fact that he was so low, Foretsky had to land 1 bullet. And he just about gets it over the line. And commiserations to Curse there, right? He does absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Those were, excuse the pun, some inhumane shots. Like, that shot onto bench was ridiculous. I mean, yeah, like, obviously it's possible. I think we've all seen it if we've played Counter-Strike, but you don't see it regularly. And also in that element of there being, what, 15 seconds left when the execute came in, you actually lose the opening player. Kamui is able to get 1 before he falls on the lurk, but a very high pressure situation, he not only wallbangs the bench player, but then gets the second defender. That B bomb site does fall apart quite easily, but it's a massive retake that 72C keep in the lead flawlessly.
Yeah, pretty wild. They've come so close, haven't they, the QUBE? It's been a bit of a shame for them. This could be a very different scoreline in this opening BO1. I think Inhuman just disconnected from the server. Wouldn't be surprised if he's going for a PC restart, just to fix a few things up. But yeah, I think as well, you look at this game, you see that there's potential there with some of the sort of plays they've had and some of the situations they've found themselves in. You also do see why they don't have a great record in the league standing so far this season. The only team they've beaten was the second game against God's Reign, 13-7. So, you know, while that may have been their last game, they're looking for 2 in a row. You can see where they could get their round wins from. It's just the end of the round, the late round stuff, which is just ever so slightly off when it comes to their individual level and some of the decision making. And unfortunately, when you're playing against a team that is just better than you, you can't afford to make those very, very slight errors.
Yeah, because I think you've hit the nail on the head there of a lot of these rounds have looked pretty good, to be honest. Like, it's always, I think, what, we're 7-0 up, are we not? And, no, 6-0 up. And have 5 of them come down. Oh, so apart from the pistol, and then, yeah, apart from the pistol, I think every single round has come down to somewhat of a contentious 2v2.
Yeah, it's really not been that bad. And I guess 72C will be thanking their lucky stars that they've been able to get out of some of these situations, because they've been a bit squeaky sometimes. And, you know, looking at it, if the QUBE players, if there weren't, what, 2 whiffs? That one in spawn, perhaps, that we saw with Barosta getting that kill when he was pushed all the way through, and then that one in the end of the round there by Anselmo. Like, this probably should be like a 5-3 game, to be honest, rather than a 6-0. In a couple of rounds' time, we'll see if those scorelines even up, but it's going to be easy for 72C to keep going, you'd think, because they've still got a decent amount of money despite the fact they've got so many close rounds coming through. And there's a big problem here because they're just not checking the corner of the balcony, but a good trade, very good trade. There's a very quick rotator coming in here, but it's a whiff from Solo on the Mac 10. He's trying to play movement to try and get more damage with the SMG, but here we go, Paranormal. That's a lovely second on Forzetsky, and now Bayek coming in towards short, 1v2, got a kit but nothing else.
Yeah, we've seen many a clutch. One in the previous round. Is this the time to get their first round on the board? Yes, it is. Wait, we're on the board, buddy. And Paranormal, he's had a very good start to this game. He in the pistol round itself, he almost got a 1v3 ace. But apart from that, I guess he's been a little bit quiet, so a massive 3-piece for him. And then when you're in those 2v1s, you've got Paranormal, who's already collected 3 kills, and then Kamui, who's the guy we were highlighting on the QUBE as being probably the strongest individual, one of their newest additions. He's, you know, if you've got him in the 2v1 as well, it's in safe hands. And because a lot of these rounds have been pretty close, Trav, 72C are actually down to basically a low buy. We've got not even armor on 2 players. It's basically a full eco just around this AWP, and the AWP's already been flashed off the angle. That is a very high risk, high reward play for Foretsky, and unfortunately, it's mostly just the risk part.
It's also risky, to be fair, for QUBE to face them like they did, but they did use like pretty decent util to try and get themselves into that peak. So they're playing to them. Right things are being done right now. Right decisions are being made. Human is not long for this world there. Getting run down. B site taken. That AWP is not going to be recovered. I think it's under the possession of the QUBE right now. Too many players holding that position. See Kamui's up there trying to keep that AWP on the ground, as you can see directly in front of him. It's a very small point, but it's a nice little detail. The QUBE realised that it wanted CT to try and nab that.
Yeah, that AWP is not being saved.
No. And you actually, you know, I mentioned before that previous round that they had okay money. It's because I glanced at Forzetski's money, and that was the only player I glanced at. Actually, no one else did, and that's why he went for a hero AWP this round. Try and make something happen.
Personally, not a big fan of the hero AWP there. I felt like it was a little bit pointless, and I think we are, in that situation, just throwing away a good bank balance, especially for the AWPer. He can full eco this round and will have enough money for AWP, Kevlar, and a smoke. So at least he is going to get the AWP in the next gun round. But we've got quite a bit of heavy investment from the likes of Inhuman, Barozzo. So sure, like we have 2400 loss bonus, but they're only going to have M4 and Spires of Utility next round. It's all about if we can get some damage maybe with those weapons. Mac 10 was saved in the last, and the Mac 10's off to a flying start, but unfortunately that mid pop will only reward the CT side with 1 kill. Foretsky does pick up one with the Deagle from underpass, and for the QUBE it's just about making sure this anti-eco round doesn't get dangerous now.
I think they had so much aggression top mid there that I'm pretty sure Forzetski was on the railing there looking into an underpass.
Yeah,
so
he
waiting
was.
for that second player to push up, gets the kill from there. Not actually an easy place to get that kill with the Deagle. 5-7 might be a little bit easier when you've got more spammability from that position, but the Deagle gets it. That's a nice little jump from there by Curse, and then he realises that Inhuman will most likely be running away,
Unlucky.
right? And actually catches the perfect timing. Does he catch this one as well? Great reaction. And he's really stepped up in the server for the QUBE in the last couple of rounds.
I've heard you. Best case scenario for Barozzo right now would be to get into apartments, go to underpass and pick up the AK that's been dropped.
Can he get there?
I would assume so, to be honest. It's all about how maybe if Solo just jumps into under and covers that AK. But for Barozzo, if he saves the AK here, look, it doesn't seem like that big of a detail. But saving the AK and you've already got armor means you're going to have full utility in the next round. And it's just those small differences where he's also going to be able to save some economy. Those can add up in the grand scheme of things. Forzetski is going to have the AWP out this coming round. So the QUBE, we've got 3 in a row. We're making Mirage a little bit more contestable. There was definitely a worry for a second, Trav, that this might just spiral into disaster. But to be fair to the QUBE, they just had those really awkward force buy rounds at the beginning where they just never got around. And if you keep on force buying, you look at the scoreline, it was 5-0 and it was the first gun round, and it's like, oh well, that's almost half the half gone.
Like, listen, you're absolutely looking at it in the a way that's accurate, right? But there actually is another way of looking at it, which is probably the way that people won't look at it because 72C are such the strong favourites. But the QUBE have now got 3 rounds on the board. With the way some of those rounds went earlier on, a whiff prevented a 1v1 victory, a whiff prevented a good advantage in one of the other rounds, and a number of 2v2s that were vaguely winnable. This could have been their half by quite a way if a few of those things go their way. So right now, it's they're really giving a good game for you see a really good game right now.
Yeah, scoreline can always be deceiving. Missed Molotov on the execute. No Molotov towards stairs. Oh, sorry, not stairs. Bench. Will that be abused? Doesn't seem like it will. Bayek got offered up a kill towards Ticket. How's Bayek just died there? He just got wallbanged, but then the response on the other side from Forzetsky, these AWPs are on fire right now. The bomb's not going to be able to get planted. Forzetsky does confirm that he's not planting, but he gives up his life, and a spam through the smoke. Trav, this round is pandemonium. I don't think anyone's even seen each other. They're just spamming through smokes and they're connecting. And just like that, 72C win it out.
Another one at the end there as well to get 4 out of the 5 kills maybe there for Men of 72C. Basically coming through blind through a smoke. Wild stuff. And yeah, there was at one point in that sort of 3 versus 2 for the QUBE, right? They had Curse, I think, on 1 HP and Paranormal on 2 HP. That was never going to last if all those bullets kept firing their way through. One more player caught. Triple player swung, but checked properly. Yeah, hard to keep track of those sort of rounds, that's for sure.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what happened with Curse. Because he got a wall bang through Ticket with the orb, and then I think nailed someone for a smoke con? And then Forzetsky also got like a kill above Ticket. There was 2 smoke kills from either side. I honestly think like 1 player was seen before we got into that 2 versus 2.
Well, Freddie, you're used to being a little bit of a coach these days, aren't you? Perhaps you're used to trying to gauge what goes down around the server, looking at only 1 POV at a time.
Those are sometimes those rounds you sit back and you're like, we're gonna have to take a closer look at that. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know what's
Get it on the notepad.
Don't even know what's happened there from both sides. There's some things you can't prep for. Those are some of those rounds. Like, are you going to get wallbanged through Ticket by an AWP? 99% of the time, you're not. But, okay. Maybe some normality resumes. We've got a boost over the top mid-smoke into connector. I was scared for a second Spira was going to get sniped, but luckily there was a smoke in con for safe passageway. And now with the top con smoke fading, this favors 72C massively with the setup they currently have in middle. Not even the setup that you would normally initiate with. Borosto's just decided he wants to peek top mid without the AWP taking first contact. And Cursed, he didn't seem like he had a single opportunity in that to react.
He's a bit of a gamer, isn't he, Borosto? And he even was bold enough to push a little bit further forward and shoulder peek, pick up the molly on the ground as well. Just to add to the protection of his position. Selma working his way up through under, but again, man disadvantage. They've actually done a okay job in the entire half, the QUBE, of recovering some of these situations. We think it's going to be an easy round where 72C can finally build up money. They haven't been able to build up money throughout the entirety of the half really, at all. Sphere has been spotted out. It's a chance to get entryed here. They exchange dinks, but obviously AK trumps A1S. And now actually the site anchors are in a little bit of trouble. Oh dear, that's awkward. Bit of team damage. They're trying to go for the wall bang on the player, underbound. No. And there's so much time been wasted trying to clear out that player. They don't expect the rotation coming through from CT. And that was probably the messiest one yet, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those rounds they look back at and they're like, okay, we had a 4v4. There was a player under balcony, there's a player CT, and we don't get past stairs. That's a big issue from the QUBE. I mean, it's a great shutdown from 72C, and it looked like there was some also really sharp shots being hit, but ultimately that's a, you know, that shouldn't be happening. Like, you need to be getting out of the bomb site more there. You shouldn't be stopped so easily. And Forzetsky, timing shot in middle. He doesn't actually take it. Instead, he's going to elect to nade this window smoke, and they're all out in the open. They're also flashbanged, but he's unsuccessful. Spira from short gets one, and also just dunks Kamui. A second one comes from connector. Owie indeed, shrapnel flying everywhere, and Spira also now has support. He's going to get boosted up. Does he know? He knows the player's close. He knows about Anselmo. Does he realize that he's maybe gone into ladder? You have to assume, right? Issue is, in the meantime, we've got Paranormal entering out onto this B-bomb site, so the A-bomb site, and Anselmo goes overlooked. That seems like a massive misplay from Spira. He saw the guy close and then doesn't seemingly react to him being in ladder room, and all of a sudden, after a great opening from the CT side, is the QUBE looking like they want to get 4.5.
Inhuman has put himself in the only position that's actually possible for him to do any work right now, and it actually might work out for him. He gets himself that kill to Anselmo on short, and then gets into the get-right cubby, unbelievably. And he's waited enough time for all the rotations to come through, and it's Barosto doing the work as we suspected. That's an amazing half from him. We'll see you in a minute.
You feel like something new. You feel like something. You feel like something new. You feel like something. Don't just stop it. Doing what you do. When I lay back, holding on to you. Ooh, ooh. Feel like something new. Here on overload, all my body is for you to hold. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Feel like something new, yeah. And I never thought that you got me wanted. Never thought that something new. You feel like something. You feel like something new. You feel like something. I feel like I'm in another galaxy. Take my time in your eternity. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Feel like something new.
We shape the narratives going into this series as minus 72C, they were the favorites. And I also shaped it saying that the maps looked pretty decent for them. It actually looked very favorable. And to be honest, Trav, that has certainly been the case. This was quote-unquote 72C's map pick as they had the final vote in this best of one. And you can see that they're very prepped on Mirage. They're individually just better than the QUBE, it seems like. And now on the T side of this pistol round, it could just close out Mirage instantly.
Nice shots are going to need to be hit. And you do feel like when the underdog goes onto that CT side, it can be very, very difficult to keep yourself in the game, because on T side you can play a bit more setup based, you can play as a group. CT side sometimes it's more based on individual moments and really good teammate synergy. And as we can see with the pistol, 72C are just kind of barreling their way in. They've hit the Goosh and Anselmo. They've managed to take CT. They completely cleared out Ticket unceremoniously. 3 players swung that one. There was no chance for the QUBE. And now 1 bullet needed anywhere, even on the pinky toe. And it's done.
Easy.
Is that probably like the most basic yet successful pistol round in the entire game? Take A, push CT on T
Take
side.
A,
Mirage.
push jungle. Take B with a market smoke. I guess they're all kind of in the same realm, right?
I guess, yeah. I do feel like the most like basic,
Take A,
obvious
CT,
pistol. Yeah, take A, push CT is probably the most basic pistol round called, but also the most successful in like the entirety of the game almost. Rush B is a thing of the past. I'm kidding. Keep rushing. That hurts.
That hurts a lot. That's actually a full eco that have got the opening kill. But speaking about rushing A, they're on the A bomb site, and a Galil has been picked up, sure. But before the Galil can even remotely get into contact, everyone around him's fallen. This round's definitely about not losing any more players than have already been lost. 3 alive is at the bare minimum for -72C, but look, they are 11-3 up, so, well, they're about to be 11-3 up, so definitely very confident. But hey, when you're the favorites and maybe you're leading highly in a game and you start getting, let's say, complacent, those are when things get dangerous on occasion. So you don't want to be too wild with it.
Fine calls, though, from 72C, doing what they do best, continuing with their strengths. And Barosto continuing to put up those decent numbers. Thing is, though, like, kind of a conversation we've had a few times. There are a couple of really talented Eastern Russian players that have been in, like, this league for a number of years. I think one of them, I remember correctly, like, I'm not saying he's, like, one for the future or anything, but names I remember, one of them is a guy called Mediocrity. And he's been playing this league sort of around this area for a really, really long time. He's kind of got no other choice in World Counter-Strike, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like for Barosto, he might be one of the most talented players from the first eye test that I've seen from Eastern Russia in a really long time. But, like, realistically, who's going to take a gamble on you? How are you going to prove yourself further? You're kind of screwed if you're from that place in the world, I'm afraid. It's kind of sucks, doesn't it? But you do what you can do in this sort of situation, and right now he's doing everything.
It's the same for a lot of players. Like, I know there's some like I run into the odd Mongolian in Face It, and the Eastern Russians have their own servers on Face It, or like Russian servers, so you don't really counter that as much. But you know, when I'm Bartak, is that his name? He used to play for the Mongols.
He's Mzinho's older brother, pretty sure.
Yeah, I think I bumped into him and Mzinho recently, and they were on like 150 ping.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, that's the issue you have. But throughout all of that, by the way, we maybe just saw the end of this game. For Ozetsky ran through A in the previous round, got a double opener, and he's looking to do it again. He does do it again, mid-air. It's definitely interesting. This game has seemingly transcended into absolute carnage, Trav, as we're mollying ourselves, running through those mollos, getting jumping kills, but
oh my God,
missing grenades. But,
so many miss nades. I mean,
in the end, It's a 4v3. And they got down.
The QUBE tried to push a player aggressive apartments, and then that spooked the molly away from 72C. I mean, meant they had to run through it faster than perhaps they wanted to. But it's not going to matter. Forzetsky will close out the game 19-10, and Borosto there, I believe, was like 21-9 or something.
Yep.
Those are the two that we highlighted, and they both play extremely well in the opening of our two BO1s. The expected result has come through, but it does deserve to be said, Freddie, that the QUBE, like, first half could have genuinely been a lot closer than 9-3 if they just iron a few things out.
Oh, completely agree. Those first 5 rounds, 100% could have swung either way. And if just one of those early force buys had succeeded for the QUBE, we have a completely different story for the rest of the series potentially. But instead, minus 72C, they also then win the second pistol round. They go 10-3 up. And from that position, you know, I was alluding to the fact that, hey, you don't want to get over complacent because you could throw it away. But 90% of the time, 95% of the time, you just end up running away with the game where you're down by 7 rounds, you go on your first gun round at down by 8 rounds because it was 11-3, and the game's already over. Like, you can't get yourself back into those type of situations. It's near impossible. And for 72C, it also looked like they were just fueled up, right? They were ready to go. They were ready and raring. Those last 2 rounds where both rounds the QUBE did have somewhat of a purchase, but they just got run down. Forzetsky got an opener in both of the rounds. I think he actually got 6 or 5 kills in those last two rounds combined, and ultimately it just looked like individually 72C they just had so much confidence, and I think this could also be an aspect of the QUBE not playing Mirage yet in this season of ESL Challenger, and it did seem like they don't have too many reps on it in general.
Yeah, it's a weird one, right? I mean, also deserves to be mentioned. We'll have a quick look at the our player to watch stats. By the way, that is Borosto, of course. 21-9, like I said. Right. Lovely 98 ADI. Okay. It worked out for us, our pick.
It's okay.
Makes a change. Makes a change that our pick works out. But, yeah, that was pretty solid from him. And, you know, deserves to be said as well. It's not like we're sort of talking these two up as if it's as if they're youngsters, right? I mean, they're kind of storied veterans of this particular region of Counter-Strike now. And sure, you know, Eastern Russia is a pretty small region when it comes to opportunities actually available in World Counter-Strike. But, you know, they're 27, 28, like, they're not young. They've been around a long time and they still play really well in this particular ESL Challenger League region, of course, in Asia Pacific. So we'll see how the second of our back-to-back BO1s goes in a few minutes.
I'm bulletproof, don't ever lose. Put the evil in the devil and I'm let it loose. I'm an earthquake, make your bones shake. There's no question I'm the king, I always dominate. A force to be reckoned with, better remember it. Look at what I can do, walking all over you. Incredible, it's criminal. I never lose, I'm bulletproof.
unstoppable, I'm invincible. I'm bulletproof, don't ever lose. Put the evil in the devil, let him let it loose. I'm an earthquake, make your bones shake. There's no question I'm the king, I always dominate. A force to be reckoned with, better remember it. Look at what I can do, walking all over you. Incredible, it's criminal. I never lose, I'm bulletproof. contemplate. Climb out the sheets, find the jeans from a previous day. Grab the keys from off the counter, commute into the city, gonna take another hour. Man, I hate trading time for a way. At least I got a home and a job that pays. Faded from color, reaching to find when I wonder how. You're saying it'll all be fine, while you sit around and wasting time. Faded from color, stuck in the backseat and told to drive.
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, Faceit.
And welcome back. We had a very one-sided first map, our first best of one in this best of 2 series. Minus 72C, we put them up as the favourites going into this matchup, and they certainly proved that, didn't they, Trav?
Yeah, I mean, it was to be expected, wasn't it, really? I think they are the better of the 2 teams. They're doing better in the league this season. And even if I was to maybe say this was the opening game of the season, they were both on a 0-0-0, scoreline in the league, I'd have probably still said 72C was a favourite. It's just from individual level and what we saw toward the end of last season, a few of those qualifiers as well. Sure, as we've spoken about quite a lot, the Mongolian scene is pretty huge now. There's a lot more players getting inspired by the likes of the Mongols and some other teams that are doing quite well. I mean, even examples like Atox. Pretty relevant, I feel like, in the Asia Pacific scene now.
Sure.
But, the QUBE are not there yet when it comes to their progression.
Yeah, I mean, Atox actually just recently placed second at the Zowie Extreme Lands Asia Open. Like, we're not going to beat around the bush. There weren't some... the general quality was wavering, but it did have a lot of these ECL level teams in that LAN, and it's a massive result for them, but they're definitely kind of above the QUBE. The QUBE seem to be, I'd say, like the worst professional Mongolian team right now. That's, I think, unfortunately how I would place them. But we're on Ancient. We're on the second map, 72C. This is actually where they beat Rare Atom, so I'm expecting big things from them. Starting on the CT side, they're actually off to a really good start. Just a spam through the smoke. Paranormal's down. Unfortunately, only 1 kill for Bayek before he gets traded. And the QUBE actually potentially look to have the advantage here. It's just all about if this boost can activate from Spira.
That's a nice clear on the flanker as well. That's Borosto, probably the main man you want to put down now out of the round. Nice little tap on toward the cave player from Inhuman, but he needs to find 2 more. And they're jiggling him out correctly thus far. And a nice headshot to finish it off by. And Selmo, 2 for him, 2 for Cursed. And the map of Ancient, our second best of 1, goes pretty well.
Much better start already. They didn't win any pistol rounds on Mirage. That wasn't necessarily the issue, but those pistol rounds definitely could have changed maybe the early stages of the halves. So this is much better from the QUBE, and minus 72C, they're actually just going to take a full eco here. They are not going to invest anything into this round, so they'll be on to the full purchase next. But they do have this cool eco play, where they've got 2 flashbangs potentially coming in over A, but with no sound being made, when are they going to go off? The timing, I don't know what the timing was, maybe it was just a feels moment, but they do at least get 2 kills now. Any more? Ooh.
My goodness.
You're so lucky to be alive there. So lucky.
In another universe, they could have absolutely just lost to that full eco, I think. There was a number of opportunities where they could have had a much more significant advantage. Started the round nicely. That Mac 10 coming through bottom of mid could have easily been caught a little bit sooner. They were sort of dancing around back and forth. ADing with the SMG as you do. But in the end it did get enough damage done to be able to get away with it. And they'll get their 2-0 start.
I've actually played an obscene amount of Ancient recently. Our stack is an Ancient. Ancient it's just Ancient.
Do you remember when it came out? Like, so many people, I guess to be fair, same with like Vertigo and Anubis too. When it comes out and it gets released on Faceit for the first time, there are some people who just absolutely know what they're doing off the rip, and just, you know, you can gain hundreds of elo.
I was one of those guys. I learned all the util in like the first day, and just
there you go.
And that's when you can only Q3. You could Q3 maps if you were Prem. So we just had a 3 stack of only 3 maps, Ancient, whatever. Anyways, we're actually into a gun round. The QUBE. This is, you know how you were talking about on T-side pistol on Mirage taking A and going CT. This is that version on Ancient. It's first gun round, go towards A with A smokes, and the reason why it's so common is because it works perfectly. 72C, the retake's been rather unsuccessful. They even got a team kill in the mixture. So for the QUBE, they've already matched the rounds that they had on Mirage within the first 3.
Yeah, slightly unfortunate perfect lineup between the two 72C players there as they went in toward that temple position. Will only be Inhuman to save. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, that rush A play, whether it's with util or not, that can be thrown in at pretty much any time of the game. Like, you can do it after you've already done it to throw in a double whammy. That can sometimes shock a team, because there's so much utility and presence that's needed in mid early round that, you know, throwing that in, getting a smoke down CT, just getting a plant as fast as possible can often make that retake, even though it's one of the most retakeable sites in the game, thankfully, considering how easy it is to get to for the T side. It often makes it very difficult for the CTs, and now they only have the M4 in play in this following round, and the QUBE showing some good protocols early map here.
Yeah, the issue with that last round was, I think, for Zetsky dies right away before the execute. Like, he pushes that donut smoke, and on the CT side, retaking A when you have mid and lane control, actually not that hard. I'd actually go as far as say it's pretty achievable, quite easy maybe at times. But as soon as you lose your opening kill and you go instantly into a 4 versus 5, you may as well just call it quits. Like, that one kill makes such a big difference. Sometimes that shows how good a player is if he just over peaks, but he's making up for it. He was an animal on Mirage, and that's a great first Eagle shot. It's actually a 5 versus 3, as I say that. Spirit gets wallbanged, and for Zetsky, some revenge is found. Won't expect 2 players on the bomb site. Does do well to clear 1, but Barozzo, our player to watch.
Wow.
How has he gotten away with that with a deagle? Runs through the short smoke. He originally had pushed A main at the start of the round, and then he just pushes through a short smoke and gets 2 with the deag. Fair play.
That's just individual level, showing up and winning a random round like that, right? There's nothing much you can do if you're the QUBE there. Sure, it's a little bit messy with the way they take it. They could have maybe ironed that up a little bit, but Barozzo shows up and gets that all-important double to help 72C to their first round on the board. This is actually, like, you know, we both said to each other, this is probably going to be a double BO1 win here for 72C, right?
Yes.
But they're actually going to really want the bottom mid fight comes in here. Very blind, very awkward, but Barozzo looking clean with it again, even though he was low. I'll get back to my point in a moment, because there's lots of fights coming in all over the map. Solo will find one more and another. Looking very clean from him as well. And actually, he's got an open B bomb site to go toward. He knows there's a cave player. Actually gets tagged quite a lot through that, but the plant can come through.
By the way, Inhuman also got a complete wallbang from cave into lane, and then almost just wallbang solo. He hasn't seen anyone this round, and he's almost got 2 kills. But this retake's all on Barozzo, because if he dies here straight away, boom, we tunnel vision onto Inhumane. So we almost got to let Inhumane take the first contact here. Barozzo's low HP. This is such a difficult position for him to be in. And oh, the timing is perfect. And as soon as he strikes, Inhumane also comes up ramp. That couldn't have gone any better for -72C, and both players had kit, so there was no worry about time either.
Oh, mate, if he just suppressed his ADHD for half a second longer, that would have been a freebie onto Barosto. It's so frustrating when that happens. The timing gets the better of them, and that could change the way the game sets up now for the next couple of rounds, because the QUBE are down to a lower purchase. Yeah, I was just going to say that, 72C are definitely going to want this win pretty badly, because sure, Lin Vision play tomorrow, so they'll probably get back to above them in the league again. But if they do win this second BO1, they'll go second place in the entire league. So I'll put them in a really good spot.
It'll be very good, because there's a few times against the likes of UR where they're very similar in the standings, and I think those will be teams that will be contending for similar spots in playoffs where, look, they went 1-for-1. So for -72C against these lower teams, it's really crucial they're able to just win 2-0, like they did against Looking for 2. Looking for Org 2. Looking for Org 2. Okay.
Yeah.
What a name.
There are so many Looking for Orgs, I guess they wanted to be known as the second one.
Yes, the second one.
The second of about 50.
Yeah.
Nice.
Brotzo's just so much better than everyone. He doesn't get the fourth. It actually is a spam kill through the smoke for Spiro, but he would have got it anyways. He doesn't even take damage. By the way, he just pushed an A main smoke but like without any information, just decided to walk A main through a smoke. That didn't come into any action, but that would have been ridiculous if he got a kill off that. Regardless, he's on 164 ADR. He's 9-3. And Trav, I think you've made a pretty good decision in picking him as our player to watch.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I'll say it how it is. I think for everyone watching, but for maybe a few super fans, there'll be... Most of these players are an unknown to most people. They were to us, just not as much, because obviously we try and pay attention to most regions in ECL, and we've seen these players around and about in different qualifiers last year. But the only logical one to pick from ratings was Barosto, really. Maybe Forzetski if we were to look at it in a different way. But yeah, Barosto is the main man. And you know what? He's doing it again. Oh, he could have got 3. Inhuman takes the last toward B. Beautiful work from him. Stolen some of those kills, but it's a perfect team hold.
I'm shouting out Bayek. I think he was the one who threw the flash. He throws the very simple flashbang over mid, which doesn't get thrown as much as I expect, where you just kind of throw it between Donut and the CT wall, or the default wall, and it blinds everyone. So Brotzo, great individualism, not taking that away, but great utility and supporting. -72C, I kind of noticed it on the CD side of Mirage. Look, they are very individual of how they take their duels, but rotations are really good, and the team play is actually pretty decent. Unfortunately, though, Brotzo, he has just been left out to dry. He never expected Kamui to be coming through Donut there. That's a big misplay. And speaking about the team play, we are just running in very single file right now.
Oh, God.
That is Inhumane from Inhuman. And I don't know how, Trav, but we're in a 3 versus 3.
They shouldn't really be in this round, I feel like, -72C here. The Tech 9 should be able to do some work. It's really good damage, but it's still a Tech 9 to worry about. Always out of bullets. That saves them. -72C get the retake in, and I'm not really sure how. It has to be said. The QUBE had so much presence and advantage early round there with that opening kill on Barosto, his first mistake in quite a few. And it didn't look like they had anyone really that quick on the rotation. And once that kill comes through toward Donut, when Inhuman drops off of the mid ledge, you think, okay, he's pretty low now. I don't think there's going to be much to work with. But no, he gets away with it, and the retake comes through. And I'm afraid right now, Paranormal, yet to get off the mark, is not helping things.
Yeah, just such crazy rounds. And what's good, I guess, for the two side is that, look, it's not just Brotzo. He's the first to fall, and they're still able to make it work without him, which is a very important little aspect. Forzetski has just got ahead of this util in cave without being spotted, and even though that was a nice flash play from Anselmo, doesn't matter. He gets brought down by the sharpest fang, and with this re-aggression towards B ramp, we have no map control for the QUBE, a man disadvantage, and Forzetski, he doesn't get away, but we've still got trouble coming through from middle, and even though Kamui has taken space towards cave, everyone around him's dying.
Yeah, space is not really that good when you don't have the bomb anywhere near you, and that's obviously on the back of Cursed, sure, in their possession, but gonna have to win a duel. That smoke isn't... Yeah, I don't know what that is. That's hit the corner of the brickwork there on the edge of the door, and that could give Cursed an opportunity to hit a no-scope, but no. Inhuman manages to take it, and that leaves Kamui quite a way away. He's going to need Kamui Kobayashi to recover this round, I think, and I'm afraid he's not going to be able to do anything from that position. Spira grabs that one. And that's at least a tie on the half confirmed.
By the way, the Cube won the pistol round and the first gun round.
Yeah.
That's all they've got.
Yeah? That's all I've got for you, yeah.
Yeah. We're just rebuying as well.
I mean, Util's bad, but they can get weapons. So.
We've got to that stage, Trav.
No, I know. Like, I mean, to be fair, the first map started that way until like round 6, but
yeah, that was different though. Like, they at least got the bomb down. They got damage. Here, we've got great money from the city side, but
sure.
Hey, maybe the repurchases are the way forward. We're yet to get an AWP out for -72C. Doesn't seem like Forzetsky's really needed it. And, well, because he wants to go for plays like this. Looking for that second player who boosted up solo. Doesn't quite find him, but his teammate does. We've got commotion towards B ramp, but that's opened a lot of space up in middle for Paranormal and Kamui to start walking towards this A bomb site. Paranormal's yet to get a kill in this game, Trav, but look at this continuous proactive gameplay from the city side. They never stop moving, so because of that, the Cube are already being flanked through Donut where they've just come through.
Barosto, the main man. The Cube have parred their way pretty nicely into the position they're in, but the bomb is again the thing that's disconnected, and it's allowing 72C to creep up and kind of encircle them.
Oh,
and there's another one that goes their way. Oh, Spiro will get taken down, but Barosto's now on the scene, and Paranormal 0 and 10. He went down. It's just Kamui. And he's just in the open trying to fight for his life on 14 health. Super awkward. And Barosto's sort of playing with his food right now. I don't think he knows at all how low Kamui actually is. We'd have committed to it a lot sooner.
They think he's still an A main.
And they've seen him now. And yeah, you're right. They think there's still one more player that's in that position on the big flank. Barosto takes it comfortably. 2 kills for him and 7 on the board for -72C. And it's right. It's a small factor, but like early round, it's definitely quite a significant skill to be able to fight around lane outside B and not get caught from the site or from Jag or from Shelf while you're fighting someone else. And that's something that QUBE wasn't able to do that.
Yeah, like you've got a player boosted up, holding towards long. You've got a player in ramp, and you're just kind of letting someone walk down lane. Bit of an oversight, but that was a perfect 3 versus 3 played, and I think the city side just make it so difficult to play against. They never stop moving. They're always prowling around the map, but in this situation, early round, all goes against 72C.
Okay.
Okay, Spirit has just run through the red room smoke alongside Inhuman. It's still a man disadvantage throughout all of that heroics because of how bad the first 10 seconds were. But is this retake possible? Apparently so, because Spirit on 14 HP has plot armor, and Paranormal, who's yet to get a kill, is on a Tech 9. Solo is only on a Galil. And they still don't know about Inhuman, but that's the first kill for Paranormal. He's on the board. Maybe he doubles his kills. Well, it wouldn't be double because he didn't have any, but he gets on to 2 potentially if he is able to get his kill on Inhuman. And, ooh, we have a smoke for the bomb. We've mollowed short. No way this is winnable. The bomb's planted for long, and okay. We finally get the first round after conceding 7 in a row.
If that smoke was a tiny bit deeper and actually a little bit further to the right, like, it's a very small detail, but smoking the bomb straight up there and trying to get that smoke into the little crevice where the bomb was planted doesn't block off your walk to the bomb. There's still a gap on the right. So if he right-clicked it a little bit deeper, a little bit further toward the right-hand side of the site, maybe he actually would have crossed without being seen, and he wouldn't have been instantly dinked, and he could have maybe got a defuse going. So There was definitely a possibility that he could have got toward that defuse, but not to be. QUBE away with the round, and they could even still get 5 at the end of the half here because they're once again going super aggressive toward A. Spira can't do anything. Again, they've got the opening. Again, with just pure W holding. They're getting away with it, but there are kills coming through smokes, and Cursed realizes that he needs to get that bomb planted, and he might. All the spams, just gets away with it.
I really did not think that bomb was going to be planted because this Molotov that only just comes in, that is the reason why I thought the bomb was going to get denied, that they were able to push close to that smoke, but instead, we actually go into a very winnable 4 vs 4 post plant with CT smoke being replenished. That blocks off Bayek, but he's going to use his utility to push his teammates out of donut. 3 come bounding out, smoke on the bomb, and Selmo is actually going for a late lurk around CT. In the meantime, though, the defense is holding. 5 rounds at the half. Will this be enough, potentially? Or will it be minus 72C? Find out after the break.
You look like a child. Well, thank you very much, Johnson. I've been very lucky down here. Feeling better than I did up north.
Collars itching, face switching, another cup of joe and I'm fine. Come 5, I can burn a fresh time. Lifting up the burdens, putting weight on my mind. Bet if I didn't chase that and embrace distractions, master my lack of faith and break through. Faded from color, reaching to find where the wonder hides. Saying it'll all be fine, why you sit around and waste your time? Faded from color, stuck in the backseat and told to drive. I'm holding out as I fight. I feel my colors wash away, and finding my ground in the light of the hours I can claim. 'Cause in time I restore my complexion and find that I left my distractions behind. In the meantime, I'll blindfold my pride and keep hold of my time like it's gold. Fading from color, reaching to find where the wonder hides. Saying it'll all be fine, why you sit around and waste your time? Fading from color, stuck in the backseat and told to drive.
If you wanna be my love, boy, gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love.
The QUBE once again with a decent showing on their T side, but we know that the CT side might be a little bit more difficult for the underdog. 72C now onto that T side with some utility on this pistol. I expect them to pull away here.
I expect, but hey, the QUBE, that's a really good end to the first half. It's best case scenario after losing 7 in a row, but this Teeth pistol round's looking pretty good. The players on the bomb site subjugated into the corner, subjugated, just stand on each other's toes there, and it's such an easy double entry for Bayek, who, all things considered, has been one of the more quieter players for this series for 72C, because everyone else has taken all the kills. So that's a massive start to the second half for him. Okay, this pistol round could spell disaster.
Can be looking for some kill reward at least, but he's locked in that cave and there's no key to let him out. He's been swallowed by 72C. And Borosto will get the final kill, 16-6, upping his tally and upping his rating ever further. Very solid to start, and yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it looked like the Cube wanted to push forward and maybe play a certain setup with those 3 players, right? But they kind of walked into the push as it was happening. It was the worst timing possible because they just had no idea where to position themselves once minus 72C were running in. Shot, I guess.
Okay. Bonk. Wait, Forzetsky's also been dinked by the 5-7 in mid. Surely not. No, don't. We're not losing to literally a full eco, are we?
I mean, Inhumans made the right decision there by dropping the bomb to a teammate so he can play and push up close with the Mac 10. Does get planted obviously a little bit dangerously considering he's low HP. Could obviously have been a few bullets come through those smokes and taken him down, but they figured it out. Poor Solo.
Okay. That got scary. I feel like honestly, in this kind of level of Counter-Strike, I'm always scared about those rounds, Trav. I'm always a little bit tentative. I'm always like, the Eagles. But look, we're 9-5. We've won the second pistol round. 72C. They're looking like they're gonna end this quite cleanly. And even this first gun round, look, the Cube won the first gun round on the first half. And that was one of their only successes. So even winning this first gun round for me isn't proving that much, but losing it, oh, that potentially is game over. And this is looking very favorable for QUBE because some of you see very reminiscent of what was happening on Mirage of we're just abusing and we're just trying to push things. We're trying to say that we're better, but issue is if you're pushing through smokes like that, it's spelling disaster. However, Barozzo had a quiet end to the first half. However, he's still 18-6 and he's still just taken all of the liberties towards A.
Yeah, had so much space there in toward Temple. Completely catching Paranormal off guard, and Borosto will help out in toward Jaguar as well. Sure, Baek was only 4 HP in there, but doesn't matter when you've got a bit of teammate support to take the attention away and even get the kill for you. And Selma and Curse trying to work their way in, but it's just not working out for them. And now I think they know that he's stuck in toward Temple. He's got himself out, but he's a couple of bullets away from death. A little bit whiffy, but he gets it there in the end. That's up to 20 again for Borosto. He's actually looking at what could be a very similar KD to map 1. Same pattern is happening here.
Crazy good, man. But then, as you mentioned, the region is really unfortunate for 70C, and there's actually no qualifiers really right for the RMR. It's going to be online maybe as well, and there's only one team from East Asia, so I don't think 72C can even really actually compete in the qualifier because of just VRS. And it actually, the cutoff's April and this league ends in May, so no matter how well you do in Challenger, it won't even apply to the upcoming major cycle, which is really quite unfortunate. So for 72C, they're looking like potentially a strong playoffs team that could maybe upset. We saw Insanity in South America. They upset, right? That was a team that took down a lot of the top dogs. They didn't make it massively far, but they beat Imperial in a best of 3. That's a massive result. They took maps off. That. Yeah, they took maps off Fluxo, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And then obviously in Europe, you had like the Sangao lower bracket run. And unfortunately for 72C, no matter what they do here, it doesn't affect the upcoming major cycle. And that's quite an unfortunate situation. position, but keeping at the game at hand, it was not even a full investment. It was a half investment for the QUBE, but it's looking like their best opportunity they've had in a long time, as it now actually is a 2 versus 1.
Yeah, no kit, but time. Still on their side for now. Inhuman, or he is going to be backing into the open. Going to get caught, but actually that's not even needed at all in the end. Paranormal actually plays that round very well, and plays that final duel very well to get a triple and up his tally to 5. That's very handy for him, and it keeps the QUBE going on CT, trying to close the gap once again. And you're absolutely right. I mean, like, Brosto and I think Forzetsky, I'm pretty sure, the two like main men really on -72C. They've both been on the team since August 2023, which is now like a year and a half, which is pretty crazy, right? That time's gone quickly. The other day in a podcast with Yumi and King T, I used nostalgia for something that happened in 2023. That scared me greatly. But like, that's a long time to be on a
scared me.
That's a long time to be on a team like this and continue to play your trade, because as you say, you've got no other option unless a real big team comes in for you, which is very unlikely that you're gonna take a risk on someone who's been farming in this region. Usually you take risks on people that farm in the EU. I mean, one very good example right now would be Molodoi, for example. I could see someone taking a risk on him at some point. It's like, it wouldn't even be a risk, I feel.
He's crazy.
But he's like, that's just why it's tough for these guys. Good openings in this following round though. 11 should be on the board soon, just as long as they hold on to this man advantage.
ALV is another one. He's actually had a risk taken on him going up to 9 pandas. I remember seeing that name at the start of the year being like, who? And then I saw his stats and I was like, oh, okay. Also, how do you pronounce... I think me and Brandon yesterday called Melody.
I mean, I just saw the doi at the end. I want to say Molodoi because it just sounds more fun. But Molody does sound a little bit better, to be fair.
I don't know. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Do you know... so, Kaiosuke, apparently it's Kyosuke.
Kyosuke, okay.
But then everyone's calling him... everyone's still calling him Kyosuke. So I kind of did one game of calling him Kyosuke. And it's just so hard. I don't know if you have it, but when you are calling someone by one name and then just out of nowhere have to like switch it up,
it's hard, man.
Yeah,
I agree. I've been there before. Like, that's why I usually try and like get myself addicted to a certain pronunciation very early. Like, for example, if I was ever doing a solo cast back in the day on my own stream or something, and I'd ask, like, there was a few viewers in there, I'd say, listen, how do you pronounce this? I need to know. Any fans in here that know? So it gets like instilled into my memory bank forever. But yeah, I mean, like, Melody sounds more like melody, so that's why I get it. But I just said Molodoi because that's kind of how it's spelled, you know?
Yeah. I'm probably not the best to ask. I'm quite renowned for getting people's names wrong. But regardless, QUBE, they actually didn't let anyone save in that previous round. So this is the make it or break it round for QUBE. Luckily for them, though, that deep donut smoke couldn't come any slower. So for QUBE, they've actually been able to get an opening kill, which makes this retake, even though they've got no kit, even though they've got no utility and lower weaponry, it's very winnable, with Spiro also being tagged down. Trav, we might not be over just yet.
Alright, again, it's just lack of a kit, though. That's the thing that's going to cost them. So much damage done, 1 bullet needed. Barosto knows it, but he will get swung upon. Now it's interesting because time is ticking down. Kills are coming through, and Human's gone down. Can they get to the bomb in time? I think they did.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, they got a good few seconds left. Oh,
they did.
Okay.
By about a second and a half, I think.
Yeah, that was a really good retake. And it's just as I say, like, you get that opening kill. 72C also took no real map control. A main, they had no control. Temple, they had no control. Obviously, no control in Donut. And they, because that deep Donut smoke comes in so late, they ended up re-smoking the entrance of Donut. So you've just wasted a smoke there, which could have been very valuable in the later portion of that retake. And especially when there's no kits on the board, just whittling down that clock is the aim of the game. So for QUBE, fair play to them. They're making Ancient look a lot more contestable. They're winning some of these late rounds, which is what we critiqued of them on Mirage. But regardless of all of that, they're still 4 rounds down. 72C still look like the favorites. And they also just still do have a purchase. So from the frying pan into the fire for QUBE.
Some damage done again here, and these wallbangs coming through, but Floretsky again gets a important start. It's going to force the QUBE to go looking. I think he's been spotted out by Inhuman. He's now holding the angle, and that's a lovely hold. And actually, see that little move by his teammate into that tiny little ledge cubby on lane there to make sure he doesn't get caught first. That's just decent team play and communication. They should be fine here.
We are walking into where the last two players are, but I don't think it's going to matter that much. And
Not
only are they very separated, but Borosco's also just nailed the first. And yep, just like that, Curse doesn't even land a shot. So, okay, I was kind of playing with the fact that, maybe it was like, hey, this game is possible, but ultimately, Trav, we've seen a really one-sided performance here.
It's true, but I will give props to the QUBE. There were signs, and I might be looking back at, if they do watch back this series, I'll say, okay, CT sides are the problem. Our T sides really weren't that bad, and we could have even had a pretty decent lead to work with on Mirage if we'd actually just maybe, I guess, ironclad some of these particular plays, and some of the whiffs that came through could have changed things when it comes to the scoreline. So they definitely would have lost both games, I'm pretty sure, but really haven't been haven't necessarily looked like a 1-6 team or whatever it is they are now in the league. So this win for 72C will put them, probably not yet by the way, this is actually a good decent MP9 hold coming through, 2v4 for 72C, and now just Roletsky left with the AWP, should get swung up on, and he is, so we've got some legs to this game yet. But if they do get this one round they need, that puts them up to a second in the league. Sure, Lin Vision have to play tomorrow and probably will retake that playing against the Huns. But either way, they're one of those teams that you mentioned it earlier should make playoffs.
Yeah, we're really going back and forth here, aren't we? The issue is this ultimately favors -72C. Is there I've actually never had an overtime in these. Do you have overtime, or is it just 12-12 draw?
No, you have overtime.
Is it one round of overtime, or?
Do you remember back in the day, I was kind of talking, I'll get back to that in a second.
Yeah,
it looks like
we just
Inhuman.
on B.
Oh my goodness, he didn't hear the player close right. They're trying to make their way through these smokes, but it's just not working whatsoever. They had so much progress with no result at all.
I will say, Trav, that lurk smoke, I have never seen a reaction to be running through it.
Yeah.
I can't say, I think it was Anselmo just bounded through the lurk smoke. I've never seen that before, and I don't entirely blame for the person who was entering originally. Don't blame him for not expecting that, because I don't think I've ever seen that happen. But hey, it worked really well, and he's got 2 kills. Spirit also held for. We're going down to an eco.
Oh yeah, there's a slight world. There's some legs in this one yet. I'll have to see what Borosto does. If he really wanted to be cheeky, he could buy a Hero AK that could very easily win the game, but I think they might just play it a little bit safer here. He can afford a deagle at least. There we go. He's actually pulled it out. So AK in play. Yeah, I just wanted to mention, right, like, that used to be how that old Pro League system worked back in the day. Like, you'd actually play out a tie and you'd get one, just like the the Premier League football. Like, you'd get 1 point for a tie, 3 points for a win, and nothing for a loss. But these days, obviously, we need a result on both maps. We need to find a winner, so we do have OT. Good trade.
Hero AK for Borosto. If there's ever a player to wield a Hero AK, it's Mr. Borosto. He had a 25 and 10 going into this round. And that's an AK picked up for Bayek, who, most importantly, has armor. Bomb dropped has been heard. Donut players close. This is such a weird timing. That is an insane timing. Kamui, though, is going to get them coming out of elbow. That's the AK drop out of the second armored player. And Kamui, he finds the perfect timing. But Borosto, remember, he's still alive. Inhuman has picked up the Kalashnikov, but unfortunately, with no armor, they also just get lined up. And Kamui, he was the guy I said at the very beginning for the QUBE being like, you know, he is the one guy maybe to look out for. And he really has put on good numbers, I will say. And especially in that round, look, that could have got really dangerous. That actually could have been where it all fell apart, but he puts them on double digits.
Yeah, they're in with a shot now. These Tech 9s, don't get me wrong, they could very easily win the game here and now, knowing what 72C's individual ability is like, but if you go by the book, should get to round 24. Anselmo does well to stop Forzetsky from making his way up, and the CTs are dealing with this one very nicely. Sure, lose a couple of kills, but now just Borosto with the Deagle and caught by Paranormal in toward that shelf position. We do get all 24 on Ancient.
This is it just me, Trevor, or has this been a crazy fast map where every round is just non-stop? Like, which
haven't seen many late rounds.
Moving so fast. Very, very surprised that we've got to full 24 rounds. To be more harsh on both sides, it feels like not necessarily the QUBE have been playing amazingly, but 72C have let this one slip. This is a very nice mid-hold, and that's Borosto down. Trav, that's the main guy already eliminated. He will get traded, but Forzetsky, who's had a much quieter Ancient, only good for the first. Bayek taking a lot of pressure towards lane, but in the meantime, we are just simply walking out of this A-bomb side. Cursed is holding at range with the AWP, and he's going to be effective. Bayek still tested, but not moving towards lane. Man disadvantage for 72C, and the bomb, it was stationed to go towards A, but now it's actually retreating, and it's going to try join out with Bayek, who is currently trapped behind a smoke on ramp. And also, look at this, Cursed has read this round perfectly and has rotated over towards B.
They just couldn't get a trade to bring it back into an even scenario again. Every single kill is responded by the QUBE, impressively so as well. And now they have a flash and a molly with Cursed on the angle. As you say, picking this one to perfection. He's moving forward. That could be bad timing if he's got a blurry scope, but thankfully his teammate's there. Solo was on the angle, holding it for him. And you know what? We've got overtime between these two. That is very surprising, and a really good round actually for the QUBE to help them get there. Our best little streak of rounds by far in the 2BO1s we've seen, and the way they started it with that mid control, even though 72C had some protocols to try and answer back, they always kept that one kill ahead.
I'm just really surprised we're in overtime. The QUBE, they've got the massive advantage now. Momentum so heavily in their favor. 72C, I will say, they had a very rough run of things when it comes to the economy. There was a lot of rounds there at the end where they didn't really have a full purchase, Hero AK and whatnot. So the QUBE, they will have that to contend against. But Borosto, changing his directives somewhat. He just tried to punch out mid in the last round through elbow. This time he's going to be doing the same, but from heaven. They take a lot of mid control very early on. They're now replenishing that red room smoke, but look at Cursed on this donut angle. Spirit needs to be very careful, because if he just peeked into that orb, that's going to be an opening kill for the QUBE.
Yeah, now they this game, right, it's been loose, don't get me wrong. A fast game, but now in overtime, when perhaps you're running a little bit low on particular strats you'd like to call, could even get a bit looser. They are actually doing a pretty good job of slowing this one down ever so slightly. Spirit on the angle, great crosshair placement. He knows the second in toward Red Room as well, and now he knows the whereabouts of two separate players. If 72C know what to do now, they should be going in toward B ASAP, and they are doing that. It's only Anselmo here. He needs 2 kills. There is one, but he's now 6 HP. Should be forced away, and the nade will take it.
Oh, we're pushing with your Forzetsky. That's despicable. He's been having... He's not been as sharp as he was on Mirage, but he's sure still got his confidence. You know, his 2 players are playing the retake or the post plant towards Cave, and he's like, don't worry, guys. I've got this. If he had missed that shot, though, a 2 versus 2 retake would have been a little bit more scary, but luckily he does land the kill. And 72C, it's Hayes' Law. They take the first round of overtime after being forced into it.
Yeah, the classic. Shout out, Mr. Matthew. I'll be with him on the ESL Challenger League broadcast for South America later tonight.
We've got all of us.
For the night shift. I think we're doing Tropo de Taco versus Sharks, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh, that's gonna be an interesting one. Do you see Taco? He kind of said he did put out saying like, oh, you know, like I'm not actually playing, I'm retired, but they're still amazing, so it doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah.
There's 3-0 merchants in CCT, South America, main Swiss, but over here in Asia Pacific, it's 1-for-1 currently, but Wallbang smites down Inhuman. A lot of contention early on in all of these rounds towards middle, but QUBE seemingly are continuously winning out these duels and now can back off with a man advantage, forcing people to maybe go for these unorthodox plays to try and offset the disadvantage that they are in. Orp's in the right position, but now the Orp has to hold by himself. 2 shots missed in towards Cave. They still know about Anselmo. He'll be taken down. And Bayek, he's had a massive resurgence on Ancient.
Huge round for him. Damage significant. If Kamui was full health, he'd give this one a look for sure, but on 17, he's out of there. 72C responding ASAP, thinking to themselves, okay, we've been in control this whole game, let's not lose it now. And it's come without Barosto getting a kill in quite a few rounds as well.
Or potentially ineffective kills.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was 27 and 10, so he hasn't got a kill in a while.
20, yeah, 20, it was definitely 26 and 10.
Yeah.
And he's not going to add any more here. The hunting and the saving is fine both ways. The save's actually a little bit more important for the QUBE because now Kamui can drop over an AWP to Curse and they're going to have everyone on a full buy where maybe there would have been some things lacking elsewhere. Or no AWP at least. So QUBE have forced into overtime, but unfortunately, they have not yet put up a sustainable fight, even though they had the advantage in that previous round. And with 3 defenders on the B bomb site and the fast rotation, falls are very, very easily. I'm looking over at mid. The fights have been thick and thin over here. We've missed the elbow smoke. Oh, we've missed the elbow smoke. Forzetsky, he's ahead of it, but Kamui spots that it's missed, so he's instantly expecting someone to be there. Barosto, he's just punching his way out middle. The bomb has been dropped all the way in elbows, so sure, we might have the A-bomb site, but we do need to pick up the bomb, and that's what Inhuman's going to be doing. We kind of critiqued Barosto potentially, having not the biggest of impact in recent time, but he's heard you, Trav, and he's just taken 3 down with them.
Well, there you go. 30 kills now on the board. We're not even anywhere near around 30 yet. And only a tag. Cursed will get taken down. Spirit takes a kill, and all 3 on T-side overtime for 72C. Well, they couldn't complete it in regulation. Now they need only 1 on CT to get this 2-0. Both BO1s done.
This is looking pretty good. Would have loved to do it in regulation. Would have loved to do it a little bit cleaner. But for 72C, they're putting themselves in a great position going into kind of the mid to late end of this season. They lost in the first round of playoffs in Season 48, so now we're in Season 49. They want to go even further than that. The team's looking really sharp, and, well, will this B-bomb site hold? Apparently, yes. Inhuman with a crazy double kill as he comes through that cave smoke. There's actually still a player in cave, but look at Kamui. He's between 2 players, now between 3 players, and they've all run past him. Will he expect Bayek, though? He might backstab these guys on lane, but Bayek still will go unknown, and because of that, Curse is going to walk straight into his crosshair. Kamui, even though he's hit 30 kills, it seems like it will not be enough. He's done so much for QUBE, a 1 versus 2, and whittling HP going lower and lower alongside the clock. Trav, this looks fairly unattainable.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we mentioned Kamui, like, before he went live, right? Saying that if we wanted to pick a QUBE player, he was a really good one to pick as well. He's kind of their main man by quite a way. And he's proved it, but this is going to be borderline impossible. 44 HP as well. Correct angle being held. Bayek knows what's going on. And you know what? He even hits the 1 bullet through the corner of the wood on the site to get this one done. 72C, at least for, well, just about 24 hours, will go up to 2nd in ESL Challenger League Season 49, Asia Pacific.
I will say, Bayek had a really good kind of upwards trajectory towards the end of Ancient there. I think on Mirage, we were tunnel visioned into obviously our player to watch, Borosco, and then also the AWPer of Forzetsky. So I didn't really see much of Bayek, and realistically I didn't see much of him at the beginning of Ancient. But especially for this minus 72C team, it seems like we've got a lot more depth than I may have realized. We've got those 2 strong fraggers, but then also Bayek, who can come clutch in those big moments, and Inhuman as well, who got the double in that final round on the B hold. So we've got a lot of fragging potential for this Eastern Russian team, and I think I'm really quite excited to see their progression this season.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 players that we have mentioned that are the most experienced on this team, and just the ones that have been around on the roster for about a year and a half now, Forzetsky and Borosco, like, they're not young, as I said earlier, like 27, 28, but they do farm in this region. They are pretty quality players, and Borosco in particular overall today, I mean, he was quality without a doubt. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's 30, if I remember correctly, ended the game with. That puts him on, I think, is it 51 and something for the series? 51 and whatever deaths, maybe like 25 deaths or something. So pretty insane stuff from him. And our player to watch, our Kadir player to watch, definitely proving to be the right one for once. Usually they go a bit balls up, but I'm afraid in this situation for the side of the QUBE, that wasn't the case, and he owned the server today.
I actually think I'm cursed with when I pick a player to watch. Like, oh, I'll sit there and I'll be like, oh, look, this guy, you know, he's really dangerous. I've seen a lot of him. I think this is a game where he can really prove himself, and then he drops like 10 kills both maps. Oh, terrific, fantastic. But we take a look at our group standings, and 72C, sure, they have played a little bit more than the teams around them, but I don't think I'm expecting them to place within the top 3. However, they're looking really good to potentially place within the top 4. I think their game against Tyloo and their game against Linvision, when that comes up, that's going to be a real tester for me to see where this Russian squad ends up at the end of the season, because they've held their own against the Huns. They've held their own against Rare Atom. What about Linvision and Tyloo? Are they able to go 1-for-1? If they are able to do that, then straight away, I think we could actually be seeing them go for top 4. Or if they don't, that could put them in the lower seeding of playoffs once again.
Yeah, and I think, as you can see there, I mean, I mentioned Linvision, they play the Huns tomorrow. So there's a chance that, you know, it's either a 2-0 or a 1-1, right? Like, either way, one of them is taking points off of the other, so there's a good shot that they'll be, you know, still around that position despite those 2 playing each other. So that does help them slightly to sort of keep themselves around that top 4, top 2. So we shall see if that's the case, but for now we're going to finish our Asia Pacific broadcast for today. Me and Freddie will be back for EU, and that might be on the B stream, I'm not sure. I'll figure that out nearer the time. But we will be back later tonight either way for Fireflux versus Betera. Lots of known names to talk about there. And we'll see you then for that in probably about 3 hours or so. Cheers.
Think you've seen it all? With FaceIt Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive FaceIt points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, face it.
If you wanna be my love, baby, gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know.
think that's so overrated. Yeah, if you make one, you will fall. Too much of a temptation.